What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tony, and today we got some more parts. I wasn't going to do an install video on this or a video on this because there's so many of them out there, but this I think you need to see. So I ordered this from Extreme Terrain knowing that it was going to be an open box, but it was the packaging that I think that actually kind of irritated me. They could have done this a little bit better. So knowing it, somebody ordered it, they shipped it back for whatever reason, didn't work for them, whatever, doesn't matter. So it's still basically a brand new part. But what got me was just just really how they packaged it. Yeah, this is nice, but this is basically the way it really came. You know, we have our sway bar links, but this. And this could be something simple, you know, not a big deal. But they could at least just put this in a bag in case, you know, a tiny little Ziploc bag would have been a little bit more preferable, because these parts right here can easily just roll out, because, you know, we all know how UPS, FedEx, you know, how they handle the boxes. You know, this came in actually in a pretty decent shape, but, you know, if it gets a little hole in it, these things are lost. And now I'm going to ship this back, order up another one. And then another thing, while this is just sitting there, you have your threads, obviously, can be bouncing around and getting, you know, damaged. Is it the end of the world? No. And this is just something that I wanted to show you guys of how this thing showed up. It's not the end of the world, but the flip side of things is at least put this in a damn bag. Not a big deal. I'm not worried about these. I don't want to lose these parts that are coming in with it, or have to order up another one and wait for it. When just put it in a bag, make it nice and simple. That's my only complaint. And it did look like somebody did use these, because if you look on the backside right there, definitely looks like somebody bolted it down. Not the end of the world. And plus, look, I mean, kind of a little rounded out, but whatever. You know, it's not the end of the world. Apparently somebody didn't like these. So anyway, here's our parts. This is the Smart Steer sway bar links. They do exactly what they're supposed to be. They're going to help keep you from rolling side to side when you're going to keep your turns. So it's very straightforward install. Obviously these are going to be your two spacers, or your little sleeves on the inside, and these are going to be your upper spacers. One thing about these is that this little notch is going to be facing forward of the vehicle, and also you got to make sure, because there is a little bit of a space in between. You got your flat side, and then you have your, you know, kind of a, I don't know, you know, quarter of an inch or so, give or take. This is going to be on the outside of the vehicle, and this is going to be going against like your sway bar itself. So that's not too bad. And I mean, I don't even think they even driven like with this even on, because it doesn't even look like it was used. So, which is good. That's one thing you just have to make sure that you do have to make sure that you have these on the right side. So whatever side has this little space out, that's going to be pointing towards the tire. But yeah. So these two little spacers are going to go on top. They're going to be actually connected to the sway bar itself. They're going to just enough where it's going to give it the space for the brackets that are on the bottom. So that's it. No big deal. And then they gave you guys, or everybody, just some extended hardware. So, and now while I'm thinking about it, no, we don't need one, because one is going to be reused through the here. So ideally your top part is going to look like this. You got to think your bar is going to be right here. You got your spacer, your link itself, and then just a bolt. Not too hard of a process. And then we're just going to install the factory one. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What I would do is you're going to need to disconnect this lower one right here. I would do this one first. So for the Allen key part, you are going to need a 6 and then an 18 to undo the top part. This is usually the part I usually hate just because it usually strips out. We are going to grab the driver's side, which again, this is what it's going to look like that you need to have it set up. Just like so. And then the bottom is just going to be a bolt through. So what I would do, I wouldn't tighten down everything until you get both. So I should have done a side by side, but you can already tell just by right here the size difference. This one is obviously factory. It's not that good. You can tell by even just look at, yeah, whoever did this one really janked that Allen key up. And if you want to keep, when you need to take it off, and this is like this, especially in a pinch, it's kind of a pain. Like I said, grab a pair of pliers and grab it from basically the outside, hold this down while you turn this, and that will stop it from spinning. I'm not really too big of a fan of these. I think they're kind of trash. I like just having the 2 bolts on each side and just being able to zip them out real quick. I think that's a lot better. So while driving, I'm not feeling too much of a difference. I have heard or read on some of the comments of what people would put in when after they bought this one, and said that they can feel a difference from right out of the gate. I don't feel a difference, to be honest with you, and that's just, it still feels about the same, maybe a little I mean, obviously it's not going to change your steering by any means. The only thing that's going to change is how much the basically the body rolls side to side. So that's just my honest opinion. I don't really feel too much of a big difference. Now, theoretically, is it something because I have the Rubicon sway bar, and it is it does have the electrical disconnect in there, so there could be a little bit of play in there. But I'm not sure if there was a solid bar, if you would notice anything difference. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. But I still would rather have these on versus the factory ones, especially because I don't like those Allen keys. I think the Allen keys are kind of stupid. I think some of the older ones that they actually slot it out where you can put a wrench through there and actually undo it that way, or you can do the Allen key. If I'm not mistaken, right, I think that's how my 2015 JKU was. But I would still recommend swapping these out, especially if you're going from a stock and your lift kit doesn't come with any. Make sure you get the right size sway bar links, because you can also throw off just the way the Jeep drives, or not really drives. Theoretically, yes, because your Jeep may be a little bit on an angle. These ones are all the same. It said there's about 9 inches from eye to eye, and it was a 2.5 to 3 inch lift. So make sure whatever lift you guys get, make sure it's the right one. And yeah, that's about it. Let's just jump back in the garage. So that is the install. Nothing too crazy, nothing too hard. There's countless videos of the actual install themselves. Surprisingly, there's not really a lot of the smart steer sway bar links, but they're actually really nice. Now, is it going to be a little bit more of the limiting of the flex, because it's literally just bolted straight on, and there's no, 3 parts away, there's no ball valve, or there's no ball joint that it's going to give it that little bit of flex? I don't know. We're going to find out. And I don't really have anything here to really flex on, or a forklift. I definitely think it is. I definitely think they are very nice, and they are a lot stronger than obviously the factory ones. Now, like I said, I did get these as an open box for roughly about $100 on Extreme Terrain. Normally they were about 200-ish, so I saved about 50% just getting those, and I knew these ones were going to be a lot better than what I had on here, so that's why I went with it. Now, the ones I really want to get are the Metal Cloak ones, but they're like $350-ish, so I figured, well, why not? We'll get these and try them out. If they break, then we're gonna go to Metal Cloak. But I like them so far. Like I said, on the road, the Jeep still felt the same. Nothing has changed. Unlike a lot of people that are kind of writing in the comments that they felt it like immediately. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe it's just all in the head. I have no idea. But for me, I didn't feel a difference. So besides, they look cool, I guess. I'm happy with them. So that's all I got for you guys today. I know it was probably a really short video, but like I said, I wasn't even going to plan on doing the video of it until I kind of open up the box, because I didn't really think it was really that necessary to do a video on it. But you got a video out of it, and it's just another one to upload. So not a big deal. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Mine will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero?